Learning about JavaScript JSON object parsing. So how to parse a JSON in JavaScript. So let's get started. I have some created JSON files which we're gonna use, but I've copied the files inside a Word document here. So this is a list of JSON objects which we're gonna work with. So you can type this one out as well. It's just like the object we've been having in JavaScript, but mostly when you are working with API pushes this kind of format in a JSON format to use. So you have to use JavaScript in order to render the object inside this JSON. So let's get started. How do we parse JSON files in JavaScript? So let's say for this one we'll be looking at storing multiple JSON strings. So multiple JSON string in JS. Okay, so let's say multi-line instead of multi-line. Yeah. So here we'll let JSON be equal to, it's just like the JavaScript object we have been working with, but let me copy from here. So this JSON files normally come from APIs, so this is gonna be an example for our project. Okay, so we have this JSON here, and we're gonna use JavaScript in parsing this JSON strings here. So let's look at how to converting JSON objects. So the object, that's what we have up there. So JSON object to JS JavaScript object. So we normally pull this JSON object from APIs. So before you can utilize it in your code really efficiently, mostly you might need to convert it to the JS object so you can easily manipulate it in your code. So let's say we have the object here, and this object to work with it, we need to use JSON.parse, which is provided by JavaScript. So JSON.parse, and then inside it, this is gonna be this variable which is holding all the JSON file. So we got it in here. Then we need to console log this. We do console log, and we're gonna log out the object we have. So let's check this one out in our browser. You can see it in the interface, so you need to inspect. Since we are using console.log, then you go to the console section. So this is the actual object we have. So the JSON file is comes in this format. So as we can see here, we have name, we have author. So we have our name here, we have author, bestseller, fantasy fiction, and then the year. So everything we got here, now we have converts that to a JavaScript object file. Okay, so what if we want to parse JSON array in JavaScript? So let's say we want to parse JSON. So we have JSON array into JS, so this JavaScript. So let's use the second one on our JSON list. for that example. So we have a simple JSON object, which is actually fruit. So we have fruit here, and we want to do the conversion of JSON object to JavaScript object. So it's basically the same thing. It doesn't matter, since we have the first example, we were using the same thing, and this one too is the same way we could convert that into a JS object. So you see we have this. We have the mango, strawberry, everything showing in there. So let's say we want to convert JSON string to JavaScript object and access these ones individually. So we're parsing, let's say we want to convert, let's say we want to convert JSON string to JS object and access individual values. Okay, so here let me have the JSON object here. So here I'm gonna have, let's have this in dot. Okay, so in here we'll be having name here, and we'll have name here, and then for name we're gonna have Peter here, and the next one, let's have age. So instead of name, we're gonna have age here, and then the age we'll put in a number like 32. Okay, and next will be country. So let's have a country here, and for country we're gonna use UK here. Okay, so we have, now what we're doing here is to we want to store JSON variables, JSON data in a JavaScript variable. So we want to store this JSON data we have here in a JavaScript variable. So for example, we have all this inside a JS variable, which is the JSON here, and here we want to convert the JSON encoded strings to JS object. So JSON encoded string to JS object. So in order to do that, it's almost the same. We call the object JSON.parse, then here we call the JSON here, and here we can print this onto the screen since we are accessing it one by one. So let's say document.write, and then we will display the object, which is this, and then the object dot what we have here, which is name, age, and all that. So just like the way we access JavaScript objects. So here we've passed all these JSON, and then we store this inside the JavaScript variable, and then we have a variable here which have the JSON.parse, and then call this variable in here with the data in the inside. Then if we do document.write, we can call the object this and then call a specific name inside the JSON object we got here. So we have .name, and .name we can print. When we print this, it should show some Peter. Let me see. JSON dot. So here is simply accessing. Let me see. This is accessing individual value from JS object. Okay, so document.write object object JSON.parse. I'm trying to check. Yeah, so we say document.write object.name, which is the name here, and okay, let me add a break here. I'm gonna call all the values in there, so I will have break here. Okay, then I'm gonna call so here will be age, and then here will be country. Okay, so let me refresh. It's saying what? Unexpected double quote property in the JSON. Unexpected double quote property. Unexpected double quote property. So let me see. We have a mistake somewhere here. So Peter. Oh, here. Okay, so then we have country, and then we have the UK here. Then let me end this one. Yes. Okay, so we get our set. Let's reload. Okay, so we get Peter 32 and then UK. So that means we are calling individual object inside the JSON and converted it into JavaScript here, and then we are accessing it one by one. So name, age, country. So we can do this in most of the JavaScript JSON parsing to convert that and then print it out individually. So that is how we work things out with JSON, parsing JSON using JavaScript. Okay, so now let's look at we want to look at parsing and nested JSON data. So in JavaScript. Okay, so we're gonna parse a nested JSON data in JavaScript, and let me copy the book one we used. Yeah, let's use this one, this JSON data here, and okay, so we have the JSON data here. Okay, now let's do the converting. So we're gonna convert the JSON objects that we have there. Objects. So we have, this is JSON object, and we have the name, author, year, character, and with the character we have a nested JSON here, nested JSON data here. Oh, okay, yeah, price. We have a nested one. This is a list of characters. The price here is nested, so we can have the full JSON here, and then we have a nested of price here. So let's see how we can convert the JSON object to JavaScript object, and then we'll try to define a recursion function to print nested values. So since we have the JSON.parse the JSON, which is equal to this variable storing all this data here, and then converting this data into JavaScript and then store inside this variable. Now we can perform a recursive function to print all this data out. So let's look at how to do that. We can use a for loop for this, but first let me clear everything here. So we're gonna have a function, and this function will be called print values. Let's say print value. Okay, so we have print values, and what are we gonna print? We're gonna print values inside variable object. Okay, then inside our function we'll be having a for loop, and this for loop will help us with the recursion. So for k in the obj, which is the object, in obj in the object, we'll say let me see, obj in the object. Okay, we have obj in the object. Then let's do if the object k is instance of the object, is an instance of the object, then do something here for us. If it's an instance of the object, let's say print the values. Inside we'll have which values. It should be the object values, and then the one which has been recursively stored inside the k. Okay, so we end that. Else, let's have an else here. If that is not the case, then we can do document write. We have object, then we got object k. We have a plus here, and have a plus here, and be okay, great. No, it should be for this one, because this is gonna be the else part. Okay. So for this, I put this one here. Okay. Else, the else part. No, we need to do the else part here, and then we'll end one here. Okay. Next, let me comment this. Let's say we wanna printing all the values from the result. from the resulting object. So let's say from the resulting object. Okay, so how would we print that? We'll simply do print values, and what values? The values in the variable obj. Okay, and now we need to, let's have some line here, so we can have a document.write, and we'll print some line here, and we're gonna call this is HR print horizontal lines. Okay, so let me save this and we test on the screen. Okay, good. So we have we have everything inside our object here printing out, which is the name, author, year, character. So we have character, Harry Potter, we have the Granger, and we have Ron. Then we come to the genre is fantasy fiction, which is also there. We have the price, which is also printing there. So this is how we do use recursion to print out everything inside the JSON object. So as we can see the recursion here, we call this variable which has converted the JSON into JavaScript here, and then we use the for loop to check if k is an object, means values, all the values inside the object. If this object k is an instance of the actual object we have here, then print values, which the values is in here, and the recursion happens here. Else document.write object, you get it. So if there's nothing there, you should print the document object. Okay, so here we have printing all the values from the result, so we need to just do print values and then call the variable object. Then we have the line here. Okay, now we want to experiment with printing just single values. How to do that? We can simply print single values using document.write here. So let me add comment here. We are printing single values here. Okay, here we printed all value, here single. So we'll do document.write, and then let me have the object here, which is the obj here, and since we want to print the single one, we want to print the book author. So let's say this is the author, so we need to call the book and then the name of this side, author. Then this one will print on the screen. So first I need to call the JSON object name, which is book. So that is the JSON object name, book. Okay, then let me clear this one off. Okay, we have book here, and then the second thing we have to do is to now call the name at which we want to print on the screen, and that one will be the author, right? So author here. Okay, so let's see what we get on the screen. After that, we print just the author on the screen, and we can do character, we can do others, we can do pricing and all that. So let me add a break here. I'm gonna copy this one, copy the break here, and then paste it here. Okay, Now I can duplicate this and print a different object name. So we have book, and then we can print character. So let's say we want to print a character here. Characters, okay, I think this is characters, okay, but we have characters have multiple values, that is Harry Potter, Hermione, and we have the Ron. So here we can either call individual by using the index of this value. So we have 0, 1, 2. So in order to call the first one, which is Harry Potter, we can call it by using the index of it, which is which we can simply do this one here. Okay, so this can call the first one, which is 0, so it's gonna print Harry Potter. What if we want to print the last one? The last one is gonna be 2, and then I print that one, which is Ron Weasley. So next we can print this nested one. We can print specific pricing in here. So how do we do that? Let's try to call that as well, so we see how to do that. So with that one, we'll call the book the price. So let me have the price in here, price, and then price. We can call any of this. Let's say Kindle, and then we're gonna get the price. So here, inside here, instead of the index, let's have Kindle here. Okay, now we have the price of Kindle, which is 4.1. so Kindle 4.1. So that is how we print single values from a JSON object, and this is how we print multiple values or all the values from a JSON object. So this is really cool. So what if we want to convert a JSON object to we convert a JavaScript object to a JSON string. So let's have a simple, let's say we have a simple object here, and this is going to be a JS object. So that means JavaScript object. We are converting JS object into a JSON string, but let's have the JavaScript object here first. So here we'll be having the name, and with the name we have Peter here, and then let's have age. With the age, let's say we have 23. Yeah, let's keep it simple, just these two. Okay, so next we're gonna have to convert, instead of this, we will do JSON objects, JavaScript objects to JSON object. So no, JSON string, rather, strings. Okay, so to do that, we need to have a variable here. Let's say we call it JSON, and instead to use JSON.parse, since we want to convert the JavaScript object into JSON string, we'll call stringify here, and then we'll pass in this variable which holds the JavaScript object, which is here. Okay, then after that we need to write this on the screen. So let me clear everything here and then clear everything here. Okay, then we're gonna call this inside the document, alright, here, just like this, and then we'll print it on the screen. Okay, so we converted the JavaScript object into a JSON object using the the stringify method to showcase that on the screen. That is very easy to do. And what if we have a JS array? JS array. So instead of the object, we convert this to array. So here, convert it to array. Then for array, we don't have the names for it. We'll only have, we can have a list of names. For example, let's say Yuli, Peter, and then we can have another name like John, and then let's say we'll have another name like what? Brad. Okay, now we can simply convert the JS array to JSON string, but by using the same methodology, which is if we call this array instead of object, which is a variable array, then we can call that variable here, which is array. We can leave the old variable, but the naming have to make a little bit of sense. So then we go here. So we have simply convert JavaScript array to JSON string, which is showing on the screen. So this is how we work with JSON object and JavaScript object and arrays inside the JS, and we can do multiple stuff with it. And mostly this will pull JSON values from APIs, and then we use the JavaScript parsing to convert and then use it in our code. Peace, I'm out.